Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Great Scott! There's no crying in baseball!
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
This is where the fun begins.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's right, we're ranking Snow White. Snow White is a 2025 American musical fantasy film. It is a live-action reimagining of Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from 1937, which is based on the 1812 fairy tale Snow White by the Brothers Grimm. In the film, Snow White teams up with seven dwarfs to overthrow her wicked stepmother, the evil queen, and restore harmony to their kingdom. I thought this film had a lot of unjust critique here. I thought the movie was honestly decent. People were really dogging on it, saying it was a terrible movie. I think that's completely exaggerated. Let's get into why with the 10 essential aspects of a movie. First is plot. Does the movie follow a comprehensive story arc and is plausible within the world that has been created? I thought the original Snow White is honestly a fairly boring movie for an adult. It is very obviously made for little girls. The story is extremely bland. It's very surface level. There's not that much depth to any characters, and they're all very cookie cutter, simple characters that have no depth to them. And that was good. In 1937, I think it's fine. This story, I don't know if it hasn't gotten any more entertaining for an adult. I don't think what they have added has made it really fun to watch as an adult along with kids. It's still very much a movie that is made for little girls and not really with adults in mind. And that's fine to me. I thought the depth that they had to this story was good. I thought they added to the original story in a way that helped with make it a little more entertaining for an adult. Ultimately, it doesn't work. It's still a boring idea for an adult to sit and watch. But to be honest, it's not. These original Disney stories were not made for adults. I think a lot of adults have been spoiled by like Pixar movies and a lot of recent children's movies that have done a good job of making a story that is entertaining for a kid, but also for an adult as well. I think the original Disney movies, they were only made for children. I don't think they had adults in mind. If an adult enjoyed it, then great, but all they cared about was entertaining kids. I feel like this follows that same line. I wasn't sitting there judging it thinking, man, this is boring. It's like, well, duh. This movie isn't made for me. It's made for kids, and I might just happen to enjoy it, but if I don't enjoy it, then I'm not mad about it. It obviously wasn't made for me. It's made for little girls. People get upset. I've seen people say things that they were like, it doesn't have to just be a movie for a kid. It can be for adults. Yeah, it could be, but it's not. I don't think the original was supposed to. I don't think this one's supposed to. It's okay to have a story that is purely made for little girls or little boys or just little kids and is not supposed to really be that entertaining for adults. I think that is fine. I think the outrage for the plot and the story is a little silly. Second is attraction. Does the movie have an interesting premise with a high entertainment value? Again, it does for little girls. I definitely think this movie was tailor-made for little girls, and they will love to watch this movie. They will like it a lot. As an adult, it's boring. It is a boring movie. Though they added some depth to the story, there's not enough to make it very entertaining for an adult. Unless you're just somebody that really loves Disney and enjoys musicals, then you'll probably find something out of it. As somebody who doesn't really care about Disney and doesn't like musicals, it was okay. I watched it and was clearly thinking, yeah, it's not for me, and I wasn't that entertained. Third is theme. What message or truth is a movie trying to convey? I thought they added a message here with the depth that they put into Snow White. She's definitely a more complicated character than the original film, and she is much more of a leader and has more of a presence in this movie as a leader. I thought that they might end up going overboard. Before I watched the movie, I had my eye on that, curious how much they were going to lean into her being a leader and if it was going to be too much. I honestly don't think they did. I thought they handled it really well. The depth that they added to her character, the moments in which they gave her to be a leader, felt really natural. They didn't feel really forced. It didn't feel like they were hammering on your head that she is a strong woman and can lead. I thought it just felt natural. She felt like a person who was strong and could be a leader and was somebody that was fighting for her people. Felt very natural. Felt like a part of her character. Thought they handled that really well. I think it's a great message for little girls. I think it handles that message better than what they did in 1937, which obviously they weren't hammering home that message at all. They had no intention of having a strong woman as a leader in that time. They definitely had that intention here, and I thought they did that well. I think it's a good thing. I would like my little girls to watch this movie and feel like they themselves are empowered, that they can do things, that they can be a leader. I think it's a solid message. I thought they handled it really well. Fourth is dialogue. Is there a real feel to the conversations? The conversations feel very old-fashioned. Definitely just a corny kind of dialogue that is present in kids' movies. It definitely doesn't make it entertaining for adults, but I'm not going to critique it as something that's bad, but it would have been better if they could have made it smoother. It would have been more entertaining for adults if they could have made the dialogue a little smoother and maybe had some points in which it got a little more depth that maybe kids don't understand, but adults would. But they didn't do any of that. They kept it very surface level, and it was very corny and definitely made it boring for an adult. Fifth is acting. Are the characters convincing? Now, Rachel Zegler as Snow White, I think she is one of the two big reasons that this movie has gotten a lot of hate, and I don't think it's justified. I don't necessarily care about interviews, about press, about red carpet stuff. I don't care about any of that. I just care about the movie, and going off how she acted in the movie and the way the movie was made itself, she doesn't deserve all the hate that she's getting. I don't know if she was the best Snow White. She definitely has some really corny delivery to her lines, but again, it is a kid's movie, so how much do I judge her for that? But she definitely does have some moments in this movie that she looks kind of weird. She has these weird faces. She has her mouth open a lot. And there's a key scene where the evil queen sends her guard to kill Snow White, and when he's got the knife up to her, she is making like the dumbest face, and I don't know if she knows that she's doing that, but she's kind of sitting there and she's like, and it looks really dumb. Like she I don't know why she did that. There's definitely some points that you can laugh at and be like, I don't know why you're doing that, but okay. But I mean, really the thing that made her good in this role is she is an excellent singer, and I am not a fan of musicals. I'm not even really that picky when it comes to people singing, but she's so good that even like somebody who like me who doesn't really know that much, I'm going, wow, that sounds amazing. Like, she is really good at what she does, and honestly, I think that's fine. I think if you want to pick her purely for her talents as a singer and then try and bring some of the acting up, I'm cool with that. I mean, it's a musical. I think it fits for Snow White. It's all right. I had no problem with it. She definitely is a fantastic singer. She's not the greatest actress in the world. She could definitely work on that. But I think she was clearly hired for her singing. Now, Gal Gadot as the evil queen, again, she has gotten a lot of hate, and I don't think it's justified at all. People are giving her crap for how she delivered her lines. I just think that she's going over the top with the character because it's a kid's movie. I just think that's the way she's acting. She's not trying to keep it grounded because she doesn't care about what adults are watching and whether her acting is really good. She's just trying to be an over-the-top evil queen. I will say that her singing, though, yeah, it's not good. I did not enjoy her singing. Part of that is probably just because she is singing after Rachel Zegler sings. I just feel like that's not really fair. Gal Gadot is not exactly a singer, and then you're putting her right after somebody who is a really good singer. Kind of makes her singing worse. I didn't love it, but as far as her acting goes, what she's getting critiqued for, I don't think it's justified. 6 is cinematography. Is there creative use of lighting, setting, and wardrobe to convey emotion? The movie was very pleasing to look at. There is a lot of effort gone into the settings and the wardrobe and the way everything looked. I thought Gal Gadot's character looked a lot like the evil queen. I thought the way they had her dressed up was very pleasing to look at. She just definitely matched that role. But then all of her use with the diamonds and the way she affected the town, I thought it was really well done. It's visually pleasing to look at. Now, probably the second most critiqued thing about this movie was the decision made on the dwarves. And from an outside of the movie perspective, just a human being in a real world perspective, I do understand the critique of why didn't you just use real people for that role? It's probably the most iconic role for a dwarf ever, and you're not going to use real people for it. I do think that is a little ridiculous, a little silly. I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but take that aside, in just the movie itself, from a standpoint of the movie, were they weird? A lot of people said they looked weird. I didn't think so, because I thought they integrated it well with the forest. All the animals in this movie, they don't look real. They look very they're done up. They have huge eyes. They're meant to look very cute. Like, they have been changed significantly to look a certain way and to be really appealing and cute. And I thought a lot of the forest was that way. It's kind of over the top, magical. And because of that, the dwarf didn't feel out of place to me. They didn't look weird, because everything in the forest is kind of looking weird, honestly. So I really didn't mind it from the movie's perspective, but I do understand the critique from outside of the movie and just a human being. Now, emotion-wise, there is no emotion in this movie. It's just not a good enough story. There's not enough depth there. The characters aren't interesting enough. They're not deep enough. It's just nothing going on here to really make you feel any emotion. But honestly, I don't know if that's really what the story was made for anyways. Seventh is editing. This is all about the pace of the movie. The movie is 1 hour and 49 minutes long. It's a good runtime. Usually with musicals, I expect them to be a little longer because you're telling a story and adding singing to it. It kind of worked out for this movie, because the actual story itself doesn't have that much depth. There's not that much going on in the story to really fill out an entire movie anyways. So adding the musical part helps lengthen it and make it feel like a real full-length movie telling a story that honestly is kind of a short, simple story. So I think 1 hour 49 is a good time, and it really worked out for this movie. Eighth is soundtrack. I am not a fan of musicals. I'm not a fan of the music that usually accompanies musicals. With that being said, I don't love it. It was okay. I didn't love the music. I didn't hate the music. It just kind of existed. I didn't really have any songs that I thought were good enough that I was like, yeah, that's a really good song. The closest was Waiting on a Wish. That was probably my favorite song out of the entire movie. Every other song honestly just felt really bland. I can appreciate a song even though I may not love musicals or the kind of song. I like it when they're creative. I like it when they really feel like a part of the movie and they integrate it well. I thought they did a decent job. I just thought the songs themselves were okay. They weren't really super catchy or anything. They probably are for children, but for me, I didn't love them all that much. Again, Rachel Zegler, she was really good. She is definitely a high point in this movie. Her singing is really well done. She sounds really good. I really liked her on Waiting on a Wish. I thought she handled that song well. It being one of the first songs too was nice because it gave you a nice tone for the rest of the movie. And again, Gal Gadot, yeah, rough. I did not think she sang very well. Part of that is probably she's not a great singer, and she's literally coming after somebody who is a really good singer. So yeah, a little rough. Ninth is directing. Now I feel the director is in charge of the previous 8 aspects. They're the ones that have to put it all together, give it their stamp of approval, and make a really good movie. Now the director of this movie is Mark Webb, and this is his 6th film. The 6 films he's directed are 500 Days of Summer, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gifted, The Only Living Boy in New York, and finally, Snow White. I actually haven't seen fully the previous movies. I've seen parts of The Amazing Spider-Mans, but I haven't watched a full movie. It's kind of hard to judge a director when things like Disney. It's kind of hard, honestly, because I don't know what he has control over, what he doesn't have control over. I thought he did a decent job with this movie. I thought he expanded on the original story in a good way and made it unique enough that it feels different than the original Snow White. And you can, as an audience member, you don't have to go, why in the world did you make this movie? We had the original. You can definitely see the differences and just choose which one you think is better. I like that. I thought he made some good decisions visually. I'm curious to see what else he could make that is very serious rather than just like a kid's movie. 10th is time. Will it stand the test of time? Yes and no. I don't think it will stand the test of time for the quality of the movie. I don't think the movie is that good. I think it is in a pool of kids movies where there's some really good kids movies. So if you're going to stand the test of time, you got to be a really good movie. This isn't good enough to stand the test of time just for its quality. Obviously, it will stand the test of time in some sense just for the name, for being a Disney movie, for being a remake of the original Snow White. It didn't really stand a huge chance here because I don't even think the real Snow White is loved that much as far as Disney princess movies go. I think it's towards the bottom. I think a lot of people think it's towards the bottom. It's the original. It's not that, it doesn't have that much depth to it. There's been a lot of princess movies that have been made with time in their advantage and money and effort. So it's never really going to stand the test of time because it's going to be compared against other Disney princess movies that are obviously better, and there's only so much you can do with the original material to try to stick to the original material and update it and make it feel newer. I thought they did a good job with that, but no, I don't think it's going to stand the test of time for its quality. Now for the review section. Rotten Tomatoes critics gives it a 42, the audience gives it a 74, and IMDb gives it a 16. This is weird because normally I feel like I agree with IMDb most of the time. Their audience, their reviewers, I feel like I'm on the same wavelength as most movies go. But 16 is ridiculous. It's honestly really sad. This movie's not even close to a 16. Not even close, especially compared to every movie ever made. No. It's sad that a bunch of grown adults are whining and feel like they're doing something by rating this movie so low. It's made for children. It's made for little girls, guys. Like, even if I didn't love the movie, I can't rank it super low. I can't even give this a rating below, honestly, like 50 or 40. It's made for little girls. Like, of course I'm not going to love it. Of course I'm not going to like certain aspects of it. I just think it's a little ridiculous. I think it's a little sad to sit there and whine about a movie that's made for children and little girls. 42, that's also too low. I don't understand. It's a little more reasonable than 16, but yeah, it's not that bad of a movie, especially for its purpose. I just don't think it's that low. 74, that makes a lot more sense. I can agree with 74 a lot more. It's a very okay movie. It's got good aspects to it. It's got some aspects to it that are a little weird and not that great. But I think overall, as a kid's movie, for doing its purpose, it's a C kind of movie. It's a 74 kind of movie. I think the other sides of this are honestly just a little sad. Finally, for the rankings. For the year of 2025, out of 12 total movies on the entertainment side, it is going to be 4th. Just below Mickey 17 and above Den of Thieves 2. This is in that category of movies that I would never personally choose to watch again on my own, but if somebody wanted to watch that movie, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'll sit and watch it. If my kid wanted to watch this movie, I wouldn't mind it. It wouldn't be a drag for me to have to watch this movie again. That being said, I have it below Mickey 17. Just a personal preference. I just enjoyed the concept of Mickey 17 more. It's a little more adult oriented, and I am an adult, so I'm just going to enjoy that more. And I enjoyed the execution of it better in some ways than what Snow White has. Again, a movie that's not really made for me, but I can stand. Now, I do have it above Den of Thieves 2, and it's above the movies that I have a problem with. There's something I didn't like about them. I didn't really have much I didn't like about Snow White at all. It's just a decent movie. I didn't have a lot of things I loved, and very, very little things I disliked, but the things I disliked weren't that big. In Den of Thieves 2, some of the things I disliked were big, enough that it bothers me when I watch the movie, where Snow White doesn't bother me. Now, cinematically, out of 12 total movies, it is going to be 2nd, just below Dogman and above Mickey 17. I think from an objective point of view, it's a solid movie. The story is very simple, easy to understand, classic story. It's got some visual aspects that are nice. The singing is fine. It's got a wholesome, nice message in there. I don't think there's that much to hate on about it, honestly, unless you start looking outside of what the movie actually, the product of the movie. I have it below Dogman because it's kind of in the same sense, but just done better. I think it's more creative. I thought it appealed to adults better. I thought the actual message hit harder. It had a little more emotion to it. It's just a better executed kids movie. Now, I do have it above Mickey 17, and Mickey 17 would easily beat this movie if it just didn't have that plot problem that I just really did not like. And they made it a large part of the movie towards the end, and because of that, I just cannot put it above Snow White. Snow White is just a better package than what Mickey 17 is bringing, just because of the flaws that Mickey 17 has, even though it had the potential to be much better than a movie like Snow White. For the decade of the 2020s, out of 48 total movies on the entertainment side, it is going to be 25th, just below Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and above Den of Thieves 2. It's above Den of Thieves 2 for the exact same reasons as before. I've got it below Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Again, a movie I wouldn't choose to put on, but I wouldn't hate it if someone put it on. I'd watch it. It's just a preference thing. I like Ghostbusters. It kind of rides off the previous movies, and I'm okay with that. I like it. I like the world. I like the idea of Ghostbusters. I had my problems with that movie itself, but it's just a personal preference. I would prefer to watch Ghostbusters over Snow White because I'm not a little girl. Now, on the cinematic side, out of 48 total movies, it is going to be 17th, just below Red 1 and above Mickey 17. It's above Mickey 17 for the exact same reasons as before, but I've got it below Red 1. Again, this is another like children-oriented movie, but I just thought it executed a little better. I thought it was a little more appealing to adults. It also had a wholesome message. I thought it was more creative than what Snow White is. Again, a pretty bland story. Red 1 does have some creative technological aspects to it, some creative ways that it handled Christmas. I just think it's overall a little more creative of a movie and executes a little better than Snow White. All time, out of 62 total movies on the entertainment side, it is going to be 38th, just below Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and above Den of Thieves 2. It's there for the exact same reason as before. Now, on the cinematic side, out of 62 total movies, it is going to be 24th, just below Red 1 and above Mickey 17. Again, it's there for the exact same reason as before. That's all I got for Snow White. Feel free to throw your hate in the comments if you don't agree with me. That's what makes the world go round. Everyone's got their different opinions. I thought, honestly, you might be offended, but if you didn't like this movie because of the outside and not the product itself, I think you're being a little bit of a baby. I mean, it is not. It's just a movie for kids. It's not a big deal. If you didn't like the movie, let me know why in the comments. Let me know why if you honestly have reasons that don't have to do with press or actresses or anything. Just purely the movie itself and the execution of the movie. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree with me, so I know I'm not alone on an island where this movie just did not seem as bad as people said it did. Just comment anything. I love it when you guys comment. That's the whole point I made this channel. I love interacting with you guys and hearing your opinions on the movies that I review. If you're interested in someone who does the same format as me, then go check out my best friend Bosso movie reviews. He's doing TV shows now, which I think is cool, and I will never do. He's done a lot of past movies that I haven't done, and he also makes it into one concise list, which I think a lot of people might enjoy. Otherwise, comment a movie that you want me to review and ensure that you subscribe so that you can see me review that movie. But otherwise, I'm Mr. Majoritarian. Stay classy, San Diego.